Jazzy Walks take many forms, from the stanky leg or the doogie all the way to the staccato steps of the slightly disabled. And I've actually always enjoyed watching the syncopated walk of people who refuse to put one foot after the other. And when I see that, the latter, I always think of Yu the Great, one of the sage kings of antiquity. He is the key character in China's myth of the flood, often compared to Noah, but instead of running away or riding it out, he actually turned to confront the rising waters and fight them back. It wasn't easy. It took 10 years, and he didn't do it alone, but deployed the vast powers of the Chinese state to make the waters recede and save us all. The cost of all this, and this is a tradition that developed more than 1,000 years after the events are said to have taken place, was that his body was partially paralyzed, and forever after he would have this kind of syncopated jazzy walk. The physical price he paid for saving humanity. The Yu step, as it became known in the subtitle of this video, was later developed in kind of Taoist religious practice as something that a shaman traces out in a ritual, often in the mystical patterns of something like the Big Dipper interconnected in different ways. And you can even find some videos of that on TikTok. The Yu Step was the theme a few years ago now for the Shanghai Biennial, which invited many artists to contribute around that idea, and we see an example of that here. This is all made of recycled cardboard, and you get a sense of scale by seeing that human being on the right. The phrases, there are two of them reading from the outside in, say, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and then 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That first phrase is a reference to what I've always thought of as the Lenin hokey pokey. 1 step forward, 2 steps back is a pamphlet he wrote about the differences between himself and the Bolsheviks and other people potentially part of the revolutionary movement. But by balancing out the phrase, the artist would have our potential dancer actually not going backwards, but getting nowhere at all. Revolution as a term means something that might upend the world, but in another sense, also an action that returns us to our starting point. I always like to see a little bit of the Yu step, 2 step in real life anytime someone drags a foot. Disability doesn't have to be sexy. We're not all Dr. Gregory House. But for Yu the Great, in those hazy days of antiquity, I'd like to think it was a modest price to pay for saving all of humanity.